Hey Zach, this is Keaton Everett with ABC, going through your pitching video from the camp. We're going to go through and talk a little bit about mechanics and kind of talk about a couple key phases of the mechanics. You know, how we're starting, how our hips are working, what we're looking at foot strike, you know, when our front foot first touches the ground, and then how we're releasing, so through the finish. And there's basically the whole premise of what we need to do pitching wise is to get ourselves consistent. All right, consistency meaning repeatability of our delivery, meaning, you know, obviously strikes in the end, but we got to make sure that we're staying over the rubber, breaking our hands at the same time. The hands is what starts everything. We got to make sure that those hands are breaking at the same time every time, and then it's a matter of using our legs, using our hips, and working down the mound and getting out front. All right, one of the things that you do use real well is you are real active in that lower half, which is good to see. You know, we want to make sure that we're getting everything from the lower half, and we're keeping that upper body quiet. You know, we're just getting a good arm angle, just good arm action, and then you know, so you're doing good there. So that's I really like to see that. So we'll start off here right off the bat, just looking at how you're starting. All right. So from the windup, you know, the biggest thing with windup is we want to try to make sure that we're limiting our movements with our upper body. You know, we're trying to, you know, not get too crazy left or right, front or back. So you're doing a pretty good job at staying nice and kind of over that rubber a little bit. Okay, another good thing I like to see is, you know, once that leg starts coming up, we got to have those eyes on the catcher. A lot of times on that windup, it's real easy to kind of look down at the rubber to see where you're going. Then you kind of stay down there, and then you don't really pick up the catcher until late. So you're doing a good job there. All right. So now we look at bounce. All right. So this is the point where your leg kick gets to its highest point. All right, and you haven't started forward yet. So this is good. You're still staying over that back leg. You're not drifting forward. Your hands are in a great position against your body, kind of, you know, right around your chest. All right. So now everything's good. So what we want to look for now is from this position, we want to make sure that our hips are going to start forward, our hands are going to start to break, and our foot's going to start to drop. All right. We need all this to happen in relatively the exact same time. You know, we don't want the hips to start forward and then the hands to break. We don't want the hands to break and then the hips. We kind of want everything to time at the same point. All right. So you're going forward, your hands are starting to break. All right, so everything's going good. All right, one of the things that you do that I'd recommend kind of working on is this drop. All right, you're almost dropping completely out of that box before you're going. You know, a little bit of drop is pretty good, but you're losing a whole lot of height, dropping a lot. You know, we don't get power from this position in our leg. You know, we don't get power from our quadriceps. We get power from the back side of your body, the posterior chain, your butt, your hamstrings, your lower back. You know, you're getting all that. So dropping down doesn't necessarily give you more drive, or it doesn't give you more power. It may feel like it, but what it does is it just causes you to lose height and cause you to get a little bit on the side of the ball, not so much on top. All right, but it's just something to kind of work on and play around with. You know, you might be a guy that just needs to drop down a bunch, but just something to kind of work on, where kind of stiffen up that leg, and instead of dropping so much, work on getting your hips farther down the mound. So in this time that you're using to drop, you know, just take these hips farther down the mound, because if these hips are going down the mound, you know, you're not going to have time to drop because everything's just driving straight towards that catcher. All right, so that's just where you're going to get your power and your energies from here. The quicker you can get those, the longer you can keep them closed, the more power you're going to have. All right, so that's just kind of a minor thing. You know, you're still doing a good job at keeping everything going. All right, you're really striding out there. I like that. All right, that's good. Okay, so now we're going to look at foot strike. So once that front foot hits the ground, which is looking like right about here. All right, so it's good. We're starting to see that back heel start to turn over. You're seeing that knee go down to the ground, alright? That knee's not getting out over that front foot. You're staying back over that back hip. You know, you're seeing a little bend in that back. You have a good arm angle right here, alright? That elbow's not above the shoulders, not below. Your ball's not right here, so everything's looking good here. You're pulling off that front side maybe just a touch early, but again, there's always kind of a little room to play around with, so that's pretty good. Basically the one thing that you're seeing is, which could be either caused from dropping down too much or overstriding. It's tough to see, kind of tell how far that stride is, because you know obviously we don't want to get out too much. It looks like it's a pretty good stride, so I think it's more of a function of you dropping down. But as you can see, that you lose your backside. All right, I see this a lot with kids who are really good at extending out over the rubber, getting everything going, but they just it's almost as if they're just kind of losing everything on that backside. So at release, you know, you're releasing the ball right here. All right, we want to see this back foot still on the ground back here. All right, you're going to be dragging a little bit forward, but what we want to see is an angle, almost a triangular angle from your knee through your back and your head. So you're out here. So you're out over that front foot. We want to take the chest and the head, and we want that out over that knee, over that front foot. All right, so at this position, you know, everything's looking like it's going good. You just need to drive through your foot more here. You just got to drive through that backside more to get this body out over that front foot through finish. All right, so you're just going to watch, and you're going to see this release. You know, you're almost straight up, and you're releasing the ball over this back foot. All right, if you're able to stay through that backside longer, all right, you're going to get to a point where it's going to look a little bit more like this. You're going to be releasing the ball probably from, you're going to pick up quite a bit of distance, maybe 10 inches, 10 to 12 inches, and then you're going to find that ball traveling downhill a lot more than here. It's kind of going to be a little bit more flatter. Alright, so we just want to make sure that you're staying through that backside even more. So anytime you're playing catch, anytime you're going off the mound, anytime you're doing dry work, just work on really finishing that backside, and you want to almost feel like, you know, you're driving all the way and pushing all the way through that back foot, and it's going to be straight when you're releasing it, instead of crumpling up right here. You know, it's like your knees kind of driving forward. We want to see this foot, you know, driving up and over your body. All right, so we just got to make sure you're finishing out over that front foot. All right, so everything, the start, you're really good. You got a good foundation for getting those hips going. Just watch the dropping so much. Get more hips involved. Keep them closed longer, and then finish through that backside. So just really, just pretty much waist down. Your upper body's looking really good. It's working really well together. It's just a matter of syncing up that lower half, finishing through your legs a lot more, and really finish out over that front foot. You know, overdo it even when you're playing catch. You know, throw the ball and try to hold that position, stay balanced with that chest down over that front foot. You know, just really overdo it to kind of learn what that feel is. You know, you just got so much more drive through that lower half, and it's going to make the ball release closer to the hitters, which is going to make a jump on them. It's going to give you later movement on your fastball and your breaking ball, and we just want to try to release as close as we can. So just staying through those legs a little bit more. So hopefully you're able to kind of see from here and make a few adjustments, but it's relatively easy. You know, it's good. You got everything else's foundation is there, so it's just a matter of just using those legs some more. So anyways, hopefully you had a great time at camp. Thanks for coming out, and we look forward to seeing you again with ABC.